Disc golf is a sport played like traditional ball golf, except instead of a clubs and a ball, you use a disc such as this one, and you're trying to get it into a target like this.
The easiest way that I explain it to people is it's really just a walk in the woods with a frisbee. Just like ball golf, you are trying to get from point A to point B in the least amount of strokes as possible.
It's similar to golf. You have strokes, you have penalty shots, you have out of bounds the same way as you would in regular golf. The only difference is we get to use these cool discs, and with these discs, each one has a different purpose. We have drivers, we have mid-ranges, and then we have putters, which putters are basically your bread and butter in this game. When you look at putters, the way that they're shaped is a little bit different. The way that they feel is a little bit different as opposed to a driver. When you have drivers, they're super, super thin, and the whole purpose of that is to get the max distance that you can. Where with a putter, it's all about touch, it's all about feel.
Then there's also different forms of plastic that they have. There's DX, there's Pro, there's titanium, there's Champion, there's soft. There's just a multiple array of discs that you can choose from.
Your equipment can go from one disc to 20 some discs if you want to carry that many. All the discs have different types of flight. Some go left, some go right.
Discs have different flight characteristics. Basically, you're throwing what would amount to an aircraft wing. It's just round on all the sides. So it has lift, it has glide, it has all of the aerodynamic characteristics. But depending on how you shape that disc is whether it's going to want to turn to the right or want to turn to the left. Depending on the spin, whether you spin it clockwise or counterclockwise, will make it fall to a different direction. When it loses spin, it loses stability. So you can make it fall to the left or make it fall to the right just by changing the spin from a clock to counterclock on the way you throw it.
You play just like you would in ball golf, where everybody throws their first throw, and then whoever's the farthest out from the basket will walk to his shot. He'll throw next, and then the next farthest person away will throw their shot until the hole is completed. And then you just total up your scores for however many holes you play, and whoever had the least amount of throws wins the game.
In terms of courses, I'd say the harder ones are typically more wooded. Like they range from really open holes to wooded holes, and the really good ones have like a mix of both.
You have courses made for beginners, usually a couple 100 feet per hole, all the way up to some of your bigger courses have some holes on each course, or some holes on the course that are pushing 1,000 feet, and everything in between. Perfect for the whole family. Yeah, beginner courses are good for the family, all the way up to much more advanced for like pros and things like that.
Get in it. Oh, silly.
I started out playing about, like I said, two and a half years ago. My cousin actually introduced me to the sport. Again, I learned about it as a young kid. I never really got interested in it. Of course, every kid in high school wants to play football. Every kid in middle school wants to play football, basketball, baseball. And it really, just kind of took a back seat when he would play as a younger kid. Later on down the line, I came home from the military, and I got to a point where being injured, I wasn't able to do a lot. And my cousin decided to reintroduce me to the game. He was like, it's not a lot of strenuous activity. You're just walking, throwing a disc. And he utilized it as more of a form of exercise and inspired me to do the same. It's a great full body workout when you really think about it, how you go out here and you're utilizing everything from your legs all the way up to your head, just in the way you throw a disc to make sure that disc goes in the right direction. You don't have to be some 6'6" superstar athlete to come out and play disc golf. I've seen kids, my own son plays disc golf with me sometimes, and he's 13 years old and he loves the sport. I've seen people, if you look at this disc right here, every year I play in a tournament for Wounded Warriors. It's a program that a guy set up and this man is in a wheelchair. He gets out every day and plays around a disc golf in a wheelchair. And when you talk about somebody inspiring you, when you get to see people like myself and people like him that are wounded from, war, get out and actually play a game that isn't too strenuous on your body, but it still gives you that full body workout that you're looking for, it really picks you up and it really makes you think, wow, anybody can do this. And truth be told, with disc golf, anybody can play it. We've got a great time of day and a great time of year. We start this nice event. We start glow rounds. With glow rounds, we use LED lights. Some people use chem lights that just snap. I tend to use these LEDs, which you just twist and connect to the top of the baskets. Once you connect these to the top of the baskets, you just walk away and leave them, while you play the game and pick them up afterwards. We get to reuse these and just change the batteries out, and it's not that expensive. We use a lot of glow tape if you don't have a glow disc. The difference between glow disc and regular disc is really simple. The plastic is made a little bit different. It has a different pore inside of it that makes it glow up. We buy a simple little flashlight. It costs like $9, $10 depending on where you get it, and it's a black light flashlight. We take this, hit up our disc, and you're not going to be able to see it out here in the daytime, but when we hit our disc, it glows the disc up. Everybody, comes to these glow rounds. We have usually 20, 30, sometimes 40 people show up. And I mean, we partner up in random terms. We flip disc to make partners. And it's one of those things that you never know who you're going to walk into this game with. But you walk out every single time with new friends. So it really brings everybody together as a community as far as getting to play around. And when you get to play in a glow round and you have these special discs that you get to see, and you get to see that flight path, I mean, it really can bring you up and lift your spirits up.
When I first started playing, I had seen some courses here because we have so many courses locally, but I didn't really know anything about the sport. I just saw people throwing discs really far and it looked cool, but I didn't realize that this was actually a sport. And so one of my roommates, he introduced me to it. We actually had a basket in our backyard whenever I moved in with him, and he started teaching me a little bit, kind of showing me how to putt. How to throw some of the discs, just short distances in our backyard. And so we decided to take it to the course one day, and we went to Lover's Lane here in Bowling Green, and I fell in love with the sport, So aside from the fact that the disc golf is just a fun sport for me, there are several benefits that come along with this sport. One, mainly, it's keeping you active. Some of these courses, there's a lot of terrain. They're really big courses, long courses, so you're spending a lot of time walking. You're getting a ton of exercise. But on top of that, after a long day at work, in the office, or whatever it is that you may do, coming out to one of these courses, even though you're getting your exercise in, it can just be extremely mentally relaxing for you, coming out here after work and playing disc golf while the sun's setting, just being out in nature. It's really brings about a sense of peace for me anyways, and I think a lot of disc golfers will tell you the same thing. You can get out and you clear your head, just kind of walk off the stress from the day, whatever you had going on that day. It's got mental and physical health benefits, definitely.
WKU Disc Golf Club started around 2007, 2008, and that was actually the first year that we went to nationals that year as well. And ever since then, I think it's grown a little bit each year, and people are starting to figure out who we are, what we stand for as a club, and the fact that we're able to bring in you know, any person at Western that's interested in disc golf, I think that they should come join the club and just see how much fun that we really have with each other and the friendships that you create with each other. There's no discrimination on the team, male, female. Anyone is welcome to come and play with us.
No matter if you've played before, if you've played your whole life,
Yeah,
if you're a really advanced player, really novice player, anybody can join.
because we have people that can also help teach you. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's something we don't mind. We want to help you learn how to play disc golf better, or even just tips here and there. You know.
Like, we are both a club and a team. In the club aspect, we just kind of get together every week, allow anybody to come play with us. We teach people how to play, and we really just have a good time playing disc golf, enjoying disc golf, getting better at disc golf. And as a team, players that want to be competitive and compete against other schools, we actually will go to collegiate disc golf tournaments and play against other schools and compete like that. We're really just trying to gain members and kind of just grow our club and also grow the sport of disc golf. And the reason we kind of enjoy having a club on campus and want to keep up this club is because it brings in a lot of people to the sport. A college campus is a great place to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds and experiences, and then bringing that kind of diversity into disc golf just makes the sport better, and it kind of just makes the WKU community better like that.
So in 2009, I believe, Fred Salas, a local player in Cincinnati, was opening up a disc golf shop in Cincinnati. And he needed someone to build him a website. He came to me. I ended up designing the logo. I designed the website, this and that. And I was actually a bartender at the time. Then I started working part-time for him when he opened it. Fast forward to 2013, he offered to sell it to me. I in turn brought in my current partner, Adam Jones. We are, partners 50-50 on the shop. And it's called the Netty Disc Golf. We're located in Mount Airy Forest in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a job that I never thought I would have. I didn't think it was a job that was ever going to be available. If you went back and told me when I was 16 that I was going to own a disc golf shop, I would be like, all right, I'm broke as a joke. Disc golf now, where it is compared to when I was 16, is a whole nother world. And when I was 16, it was me and my 4 buddies in high school that played. Now you have high school teams, you have college teams, you have collegiate national events, you've got the Pro Tour, you've got, thousands of videos on YouTube. It's just all over the place. 2016, Steve Dodge, who's been around the sport for a long, long time, wanted to create a sustainable way for pro disc golfers to make a living on tour. At the time, the touring pros would find, a tournament here, a tournament there, and try to, hop around with a short amount of traveling as they could and still make, somewhat of a living. So in 2016, he started the Disc Golf Pro Tour. In 2017, we were asked to be a part of it. Just south of us in northern Kentucky is a course called Idlewild. It's in Burlington, Kentucky. It's been one of the top courses in the country for years and years, usually the number 1 public course in the country. It is definitely not a beginner-friendly course. It's very well manicured, very long, and a whole lot of trees and just a lot of out of bounds and things like that. But Steve came to us, he's like, you guys are 2 of the best TDs in the Midwest, and you've got one of the best courses in the country right here. We want to put you on the Pro Tour. But it's a big undertaking, and I could come out here and run a Tuesday night league with my eyes closed, and I can typically run a normal PDGA event with no hiccups. We've been doing it so long. I've probably got 30 some PDGA events under my name that I've been a TD for, and Idlewild is, I don't really stress about it, but it's just a different level.
when I first got involved in the professional organization, I was around 30,000, like I said in the beginning. At this point, it's grown to, I think, around 140,000.
Over, yeah.
And those are professional members, not necessarily professionals, but part of the professional organization. As far as the recreational sport has grown more rapidly than any other sport in the world. But the courses are being put in at a phenomenal pace. The technology of Frisbees and all the equipment we have is continuing to level up.
The athletes.
The athletes are, like you said, are coming from other sports, major sports, baseball and football. People who are, are strong and not just people out there throwing Frisbees anymore.
These guys are phenomenal. They make it look so easy on TV, but Justin and I know those guys are. I mean, one
They're
mistake,
superhuman.
they're superhuman, and they are phenomenal players.
The day I graduated, my roommate and I jumped in the car and we drove to Florida. It was December of 1977. And we joined the Professional Disc Golf Association and played in a tournament that actually had baskets, which was a game changer. No more arguments. Did I hit that tree? Did I not hit that tree? Did I hit between the lines on the lamp post? So that was a game changer, and that's when the sport really started taking off, because you had other things to argue about instead of just whether or not you hit the tree. You're either in or not. So how long I've been playing competitive, it's quite a while. I've been fortunate enough to travel to many countries, playing at the highest level, European Championships in Norway, Sweden, played there, British Open up in Northern Ireland, played there, traveling all over the U.S. And probably the really neat aspect is something that us old folks call the Frisbee family, because it was a Frisbee before it was a disc. I mean, Frisbee is a trademark name. But the folks that I met back through the 70s, as we were really putting together a disc golf association at that time, tour, and then transferring that to the Professional Disc Golf Association, actually a players organization. I was involved in a lot of those discussions and activities and rule makings, and to see it evolve. But those folks are just like family. I mean, you would have a tournament. If there's a tournament within 8 hours from my house on a weekend, and at that time you might find one every month or so going on in the 70s, we'd all go to it, and we'd all show up at whoever was putting it on's house, and we'd camp in the floors. It's like 20-year-olds do, and you just get to know these people. And some of my closest family, besides my brothers who both play as well, are disc golfers that I've known for 40 plus years, and you can pick up the phone and call them at any time for whatever you need. And now social media, you can follow each other more than you want to a lot of times. You don't tend to do as much talking, but it's just such a great experience to have something that literally common to your core is disc golf, and it's it basically changed the life. Once I got into that, got away from any other sports, and I stayed into that sport. Knew people from all over, and we'd know when we got there who we needed to beat, who we needed to worry about, how we were going to play, and then always look forward to it. Even till today, I'll call up a couple of old buddies so that we make sure we have a 65 and over pro division, and we'll show up and play. And in course design, Arnold Palmer said he didn't design the course, God did. He just didn't know where to put the tees and the pins. So you're taking the property and you're constricted always with the property and what you can do. And then you try to find the best disc golf applications to that property. Keying in, first and foremost is safety. Don't throw it between the walking path and the road. I always try to have half the courses break off to the right, on half the holes to the right, half the holes go to the left, and the other half go straight. But I'm an overachiever, so 1.5 is really what I try to get out of a hole.
So with the future aspects of disc golf, we're really hoping that the ESPN and stuff like that really picks us up and takes us serious as a sport. So we're really hoping that we can start making this mainstream, not only here in the U.S., but make it mainstream around the world.
Ideally, I would like to see, the sport grow more locally, not just as far as like as a casual sport, but even like in high schools and middle schools. There's courses all around here that are designed specifically for juniors, the younger people and older people as well.
There's no reason you shouldn't pick up a disc and go play at least once. If you have a Frisbee, take your kids out there, take your wife out there, dogs. We see all kinds of families out there playing. It's free. You just need one Frisbee, and it's like putt-putt in the woods.
If you want to find a course near you, I suggest a website called DG Course Review, which would be discgolfcoursereview.com. Or there's an app called UDisc, UDISC. Basically, those are those places you can put in your zip code, and it can tell you the closest courses to you. They have pictures on there. Tells you how long the course is, how hard it is. There's reviews on them.
Go buy some discs. Go out to a course. Find somebody that's out there throwing. Ask them some questions. It's rare that you're going to meet somebody that's not going to be eager to help you learn how to play this sport.
It's just the beauty of watching a disc fly, and that's, to me, that does it for me. I love watching these Frisbees fly. The competitive part, if you get into that, cool, but just for fun, you can't beat it for just going out there and walking in the park throwing some Frisbees at some chains. I mean, it's the most, to me, it's the most purest sport out there right now that nobody knows about.
Yep. As far as your investment goes, you're basically just investing your time, which, all we have is time here. So, spending your time doing things you enjoy, doing things that's going to promote a healthy lifestyle. I think disc golf is a win-win. I don't see anything, there's nothing bad that can come of it.
So it really brings everybody together, and I really hope and pray, that this sport becomes something that every walk of life turns to, no matter who you are, and it brings us together in the days that we've got going on right now.